Hi, class. Welcome to week 4 in Principles of Coaching. Before we get into week 4, just wanted to touch base on week 2 and our philosophy papers. I'm going through grading those right now, and wanted to talk about the character coaching and the importance of implementing our Christian faith into into what we're doing as a coach. Um, it's extremely important that we do that, and it's extremely important that we know that as coaches our players are constantly going to be looking up to us, whether you're coaching a little league team or whether you're coaching a college team or high school or professional team. um, your players, your athletes are going to be constantly looking up to you. And if you have certain expectations, it's important that you are also abiding by those expectations. Um, so many of you wrote about some different things that you would do with your team. Um, that you would pray with your team, do devotions. Those are all great things. Some of you may work at a public university where you can't pray with your team or where you can't lead Bible studies and that sort of thing. So, what do you do in those situations? Well, I think it's really important that our actions speak speak really loud to the players that we're coaching. Um, so here's a verse I wanted to share with you guys. The saying is trustworthy. If anyone aspires to the office of overseer, he desires a noble task. Therefore, an overseer must be above reproach. And then it goes on to list some different things here. Husband of one wife, sober-minded, self-control, respectable, hospitable, able to teach. Uh, so if we're this is obviously talking about qualifications for someone who's getting into work at the church, but I think it also could be used for coaching and people in leadership roles. If you're going to be in a leadership role, it's important to live above reproach, and coaching is a leadership role. You're in charge of an organization, and you need to be able to live in a way that would bring honor and glory to the Lord. Because if not, your players are going to see that, and they're gonna in turn live the same way. So if you have an expectation of, for example, we're not going to use any foul language, and then you do use foul language, your players are going to do that, and you can throw that expectation out the window. Um, so uh, really important that we live above reproach, and that'll also help with respect. Many of you mentioned respect as one of your expectations. Another verse I want to share, Mark 9:42. If anyone causes one of these little ones, those who believe in me, to stumble, it would be better for them if a large millstone were hung around their neck and they were thrown into the sea. So this verse is just showing the seriousness of that, how serious God takes causing someone to stumble. So if we're in a role of authority as a coach, it's again really important that we live above reproach, so we're not causing anyone on our team to stumble. So an example from my world of coaching. I My players know that I have a wife, that I have a kid, that I have a family. And so when we're on the road and we're all hanging out together, when we're going to the mall, when we're going out to dinner, I'm very careful of how am I interacting? Where are my eyes? Because I know that my players are always watching, and they want to see, is he going to be somebody that is going to go off and do his own thing when his family isn't there? Is he somebody that's going to be um, speaking in a way that doesn't bring honor to the Lord? So we got to be really careful of how we live, and our actions speak loud when we're in a place of authority. So just wanted to touch really quickly on that, and just remind you guys how important it is as the responsibility that we have as coaches. Let's get into week 4. We have a little bit of a lighter week this week. You have discussion posts and one quiz, and your reading is chapters 9 and 10 in the Martin's book. So we're talking this week about technique or technical skills, and tactics or tactical skills. So obviously technical skills are specific procedures to move one's body to perform a task. So kicking, throwing, hitting, from basketball it'd be shooting. Those are all examples of technical skills. Tactical skills, decisions and actions of a player in a contest to gain an advantage over an opposing team. So, when I'm recruiting, we're often recruiting basketball players that we think have a high basketball IQ. So that means they have good game sense. They know where to be. They know how to take advantage of the team's weaknesses. So that's what we're talking about with tactical skills. Also, want you guys to think about running a practice. So there's different ways of doing that. The book talks about a traditional approach where there's lots of drilling, scrimmaging, and then there's the games approach, which is an approach that is more game-like, where you're doing drills that are, high intensity, that are going to make it more of a game-like situation. Learn by experience more than just talking about something. So a little bit of a lighter week, but this week we really want to nail down just the difference between technical and tactical, and how would you want to practice? Are you going to be a coach that wants to do a bunch of drills? And if so, like, how are you going to make those drills? How are you going to make them game like? So those are some things that we can think about as we're doing our discussions. And hope you all are doing well, and hope you all have a great week.